सर हम बड़ी होप लेकर आए हैं, प्लीज आप इस पे कुछ मतलब उन सर्वाइवर्स को जब मैंने जाकर उस दिन बताया जिनको एसिड पिलाया जाता है वो इतनी खुश थी कि पहली बार किसी ने बोला और इतना पॉजिटिव रिस्पांस मिला। सोचो 28 साल की लड़की है जिसका वजन 20 किलो रह जाता है, हीमोग्लोबिन 3 रह जाता है, वो कैसे अपनी जिंदगी में कुछ कर पाएगी। तो बहुत ही सीरियस है उनकी कंडीशन। सर आप प्लीज इस पे देखिएगा।
यहाँ पे ऐसा इंस्टेंस तो हुआ लेकिन पुलिस ने कोई कार्रवाई नहीं की, तो आप लाइए रिकॉर्ड पर, अगर आपकी कोई नोटिस में है तो आप उस पर हमारी मदद कीजिए।
ठीक है।
और नहीं तो अब हमने सारी स्टेट गवर्नमेंट्स को बुलाया है यहाँ।
जी।
उस दिन जब स्टेट के काउंसिल होंगे यहाँ पे तो आप उस दिन बताना, उस दिन हम उनको डायरेक्शन देंगे कि आप अपने अपने पुलिस स्टेशन से उनसे वेरीफाई करें कि ऐसी कोई कंप्लेंट्स कभी आई है क्या, अगर आई है तो उस पर क्या कार्रवाई हुई।
तो एक चीज मैं और ऐड करना चाहूंगी, जैसे अभी नालसा की पॉलिसी के बारे में बात हो रही थी, तो नालसा की पॉलिसी में है डिसेबिलिटी का इतना है, आपकी बर्न इंजरी है इतना है, तो उसमें भी एसिड इंजेक्शन वालों को कुछ बेनिफिट नहीं है क्योंकि उनको वो सब चीजें ना तो बर्न इंजरी दिखती है ना मिनिमम मुआवजा है 3 लाख, वो सिर्फ वहां तक ही जा पाते हैं, उससे आगे कभी उन्हें कुछ
You are you are here to defend, you are here to defend a very most, one of the most genuine cause.
Yes.
So therefore your voice must be having the same strength as you need to defend this kind of issue.
Millards.
Why are you stressed and afraid of?
No, Millards, I'm not at all stressed. So, Millards, on the last date of hearing, the learned Solicitor General had mentioned that he would be taking instructions regarding the PL which has been filed, and
Now,
so we are awaiting.
tell me 2-3 questions. This Shaheen is also here.
Yes.
What happened to this juvenile?
Juvenile.
सर जुवेनाइल का कन्विक्शन हो गया था 2015 में।
अभी क्या पोजीशन है उसका?
सर उसको ऑब्जर्वेशन होम में रखा गया था 3 साल, उसके बाद तो फिर वो वहां से रिहा हो गया था। जो एडल्ट केस है वो अभी रोहिणी में चल रहा है सर।
वो तो हमने देख लिया। उसको कितनी एज का था जुवेनाइल?
सर जिस टाइम क्राइम किया था ही वाज 16 और 16.5, और जिस टाइम पर वो 2015 में कन्विक्शन हुआ है तो वो एडल्ट था, मतलब उस टाइम पर वो हो चुका था 24-25 का।
और उसको कंटेस्ट किया था किसी ने जुवेनाइल है या नहीं है? कोई एविडेंस हुआ उसमें?
सर कंटेस्ट नहीं किया था उस टाइम पर, कोई इतना सपोर्ट नहीं था, मुझे कुछ नहीं था तो पता भी नहीं थी चीजें बहुत सारी हमें सर।
जो बाकी एक्यूज्ड हैं ये क्या उसके दोस्त हैं, उसके परिवार के हैं?
हाँ जी सर, जो जेजेबी वाला जो था उसके कजन है, और जो कजन है वो वहां पर जहां पर ये अटैक हुआ वहां पर वो मतलब एम्प्लॉय था, वहां पर पढ़ता भी था काम भी करता था, तो मतलब एक दूसरे से सब लिंक्ड है। इवन सर मैं जुवेनाइल को नहीं जानती थी डायरेक्टली, वो जब मैंने आइडेंटिफाई किया यही लड़का है तो फिर वो चेन एक बनी।
अभी जो आया है स्टेटस वो आपकी तरफ से शायद आए हैं
जी,
क्योंकि ये सब ट्रायल कंप्लीट हो गया है, आर्गुमेंट्स पे है।
आर्गुमेंट स्टेज पे है सर।
So, Madam Archana, we will not make any observation.
I get that.
It should not cause any prejudice to anyone.
Hello.
But who is for the Delhi High Court? Somebody was appearing. There was a counsel for Delhi High Court before lunch.
It's not in.
चेन किया अच्छा जम्मू
What's JNK? I have had pre-lunch.
Plus, the matter is listed on 3 dates now continuously for final arguments.
What is the date now?
Amal is the 12th, 13th and 15th of December for final arguments.
That is tomorrow, day after tomorrow, and on Monday.
Likely to be concluded as well because part arguments have already been
You
heard.
please sensitize your prosecutor that they should not, one, that they must not take any date,
My lords.
and they must start the arguments. Let it commence on that date. And
The prosecution is from Haryana, but my lords, I did speak to the PP and the IO also there, and I've already told them that try and finish this.
Say it again. We will intimate
We
again
will,
today
we
also.
will intimate again, my lords.
you communicate
My lords.
the kind of, we don't want to use the word instructions, but you can communicate our feeling
My lords.
that they must start arguments and the trial should be concluded, taken to a logical conclusion by before 31st December.
My lords.
It would be effective communication. Your lordships can rest assured.
That's right.
मेरी बस एक चीज है जो मैं बताना चाहती हूँ, मुझे नहीं पता वो यहाँ से लिंक्ड है या नहीं। तो जो मेरे केस में पहले आईओ थे,
आप उस केस में आपकी तरफ से कोई अपीयर होते हैं?
सर मेरे काउंसिल हैं जो अपेयर होते हैं।
आपने अपने उस पर किया हुआ है खर्च, कि आपको कोई
नहीं सर, मैंने खुद ही किया हुआ है, पर वो मुझे प्रोबोनो सर्विसेज दे रहे हैं सर।
प्रॉब्लम है?
हाँ जी सर।
आपको कोई अच्छा वहाँ का टॉप लॉयर चाहिए जिसको आपको लगता है कि वो एक्सपर्ट है, उसको हम यहाँ से फ्री लीगल एड से देंगे, जो उनकी फीस होगी हम दिलवाएंगे यहाँ से।
सर अभी तो मुझे लगता है कि जो लॉयर हैं वो अच्छे से
वो ठीक है, वो आपका इंटरेस्ट एडुकेटली प्रोटेक्ट कर लेंगे।
यस यस
प्रोसिक्यूटर बहुत अच्छे होंगे गवर्नमेंट की साइड से, वो भी करेंगे।
जी।
आपका अपना लॉयर है, वो अपना डिफेंड करे। अगर आपको कोई लगे तो आप बताइएगा, हम लीगल सर्विस अथॉरिटी से आपको प्रोवाइड करेंगे।
ठीक है ठीक है।
Yeah, we can also, Malad, you can, ma'am, you can tell her or me, whoever, everything will be taken care of.
यस सर बस एक चीज मैं बोल रही थी कि जैसे मेरे केस में जो फर्स्ट आईओ थे, तो उन्होंने मेरे सब सीज किए थे कपड़े सब कुछ, और उन्होंने अपने क्रॉस में बोला ऑन द डायरेक्शन ऑफ द एसएचओ, मैंने ये नहीं भेजे आगे एफएसएल में। तो इस तरह की पुलिस ऑफिसर्स के खिलाफ सर कुछ इंक्वायरी होनी चाहिए।
अभी आज हम कुछ नहीं बोलेंगे ये आर्गुमेंट, क्योंकि आपके वकील साहबान वहां करेंगे।
जी जी
ये ट्रायल कोर्ट को करेंगे। कोर्ट के पास पूरी पावर होती है। अगर वो कोई उनको लगे कि इसमें कोई किसी किस्म का नेग्लिजेंस या कोलिजन या कनाइवेंस या डिलिक्शन ऑफ ड्यूटी कुछ भी हुआ है, तो उसके प्रोपोर्शनेटली क्या होना चाहिए, उनको वो पावर है। तो आप ये पॉइंट वहां पे रखवाइए।
जी जी
तो लेट अस सी व्हाट हैपेंस हियर।
ठीक है सर।
और यहाँ पे इस इशू पे तो जो आपने रेज किया वो तो है ही है। इसके अलावा आपको कोई अगर बाकी जो भी इशू आपको लगते हैं इसमें कोई कोर्ट की इंटरफियरेंस से कोई एक सिस्टम में बेटर इंप्रूवमेंट कोई हो सकती है, वो आप यहाँ इस रिपोर्ट पर लेकर के आइए। मिस्टर सोलिसिटर, इन जस्ट इन दिस मैटर you find out that that amendment part we were just...
That I had a detailed discussion. We are examining it. Lord, the difficulty I'll share candidly with the court, which I was, Lord, given, that the physically handicapped category is already there in services, etc., etc. But many a times it is found that even that is being misused. People who are not physically handicapped, they are also getting into senior services like civil services, etc. So we will have to find out some definition, because a few drops of, for example, acid may not qualify.
You have to plug the gap.
Yes. Otherwise, we are working on it. But immediate response was this, that we will have to take care that somebody does not misuse. Not in her case. She is a genuine case. There may be, Lord, some misuse.
So, Milords, in this case, what we are trying to say is not about any acid which is falling on the body. That is already covered under the RPWD Act, and the disability is being assessed as per the guidelines which are set down. But what we are talking about here is those people who have been administered with acid. So, the damage
I don't think there
may not be visible outside.
Can you give me a note?
Sure.
Madam के साथ बैठ के just prepare a note. What is already available?
What is your suggestion? Maybe that major part of it there should not be any quarrel about it. But then the nitty-gritties, and while drafting anything, one has to always keep in mind that is this provision is capable of misuse also. See, because sometimes the genuine people are left behind, and the masqueraders get benefit.
Yes.
So that part we should avoid, because the benefit must go to those for whom it is intended and for whom it is meant for.
Yes, Milords. So for this purpose, we had also approached various doctors as well who deal with gastroenteritis and other allied diseases. So they had also said that there is a very stark definition between people who are administered acid and people who are forcefully administered acid. So this petition we have filed keeping in mind only those victims who have been forcefully administered with acid and against whom there is an FIR which has already been filed regarding that. So this is what we are concentrating.
Just give a detailed note. My lord, I assure your lordship, we are working on it.
And sir, मुझे ये लगता है कि कोई भी खुद से एसिड जबरदस्ती नहीं.
No. This angle was not there. That this is the category you are. I thought any acid victim throwing of acid, etc. I never knew. Nobody would consume, obviously.
So actually there is an assessment guidelines which is already existing which is read along with the RPWD Act, and it is being used by the medical doctors so that they can rein the disability percentage.
I think what learned Solicitor General is pointing out is only that some people, that there should not be any loophole in the drafting that people can misuse. On judicial side, I have dealt with a case where we set aside the High Court judgment and also quashed the appointment which was secured on the basis of physical disability. Disability was that with regard to movement of the left leg. But ultimately, when the state was disputing, we referred the boy to AIMS here and constituted a medical board. Eventually, it was found that he is absolutely normal. And there was a medical certificate obtained from a civil surgeon regarding that disability. And argument was the High Court allowed the claim that one certificate is issued, you can't question it. The state said if the certificate has been procured fraudulently, why can't we question?
Yes.
So we said that, all right, to resolve this fact, we will refer him to AIMS. And what we found from AIMS was that he is absolutely normal. So that is the idea.
I understood you, Mulaj. I bow down to that. But our grievance is that no certificate is being issued to us.
That is what we are suggesting, that will be taken care.
सर हम बड़ी होप लेकर आए हैं, प्लीज आप इस पे कुछ मतलब उन सर्वाइवर्स को जब मैंने जाकर उस दिन बताया जिनको एसिड पिलाया जाता है वो इतनी खुश थी कि पहली बार किसी ने बोला और इतना पॉजिटिव रिस्पांस मिला। तो सर आप प्लीज इसको देखिएगा, क्योंकि सर उनका मतलब आप सोचो 28 साल की लड़की है जिसका वजन 20 किलो रह जाता है, हीमोग्लोबिन 3 रह जाता है, वो कैसे अपनी जिंदगी में कुछ कर पाएगी? तो बहुत ही सीरियस है उनकी कंडीशन। सर आप प्लीज इस पे देखिएगा।
आप कोई पर्टिकुलर केस की बात कर रहे हैं
सर? एसिड इंजेक्शन वाले केस की बात कर रहे हैं।
एसिड पिलाने वाले केसेस की बात।
पिलाने वालों का आप अगर कोई एक दो केसेस का कोई इंस्टांस अगर हो जहाँ पे ट्रायल पेंडिंग हुआ कुछ भी, या कोई ऐसा केस आपको लगे जहाँ पे ऐसा इंस्टेंस तो हुआ लेकिन पुलिस ने कोई कार्रवाई नहीं की, तो आप लाइए रिकॉर्ड पर, अगर आपकी कोई नोटिस में है तो आप उसमें हमारी मदद कीजिए। और नहीं तो अब हमने सारी स्टेट गवर्नमेंट्स को बुलाया है आप जी। उस दिन जब स्टेट के काउंसिल होंगे यहाँ पे तो आप उस दिन बताना, उस दिन हम उनको डायरेक्शन देंगे कि आप अपने अपने पुलिस स्टेशन से उनसे वेरीफाई करें कि ऐसी कोई कंप्लेंट्स कभी आई है क्या, अगर आई है तो उस पर क्या कार्रवाई हुई, उसका हम रिकॉर्ड लेंगे।
There is a provision, there used to be, I'll check up, used to be a provision in CRPC, must have continued, that at the time of conviction, the court can direct the accused.
57A.
Yes.
Scheme.
Yes, to compensate the victim.
Yes. 3 people.
Are there.
No, even victim will have, the accused will have to compensate the victim.
That unfortunately, I think there is
What happens, Mr. Solicitor, is the accused generally comes from very weak economic.
He also may not afford.
What is done is a balance between the schemes under the NALSA authorities as well as the states. Every state government has formulated.
Because at the end of the day, this is state's failure.
What they are really trying to flag is most of the acid victims are victims with scars on the body, but there can be internal organ damage because of the ingestion, where there is no scar on the face. No scar.
And that is more dangerous.
Yes.
More.
Various vital organs of the body irreversibly damaged, which make them wholly dependent on medication or some other support.
If at all.
So these cases, whether they can be covered under the PWD statutory scheme.
Yes.
I didn't know, Malad.
Yes, that is what they are.
Yes, that is, Malad. I am clear now.
First of all, there should not be any, in fact, second opinion that this kind of matters must go where the victim has survived. The matter must be under the corresponding provision of 307.
Correct.
It has to be.
It has to be.
And I recollect in one of the early cases, it was treated to be 326 where I disagreed and I converted into 307. So it has to be. Where the victim survived, there should not be any second opinion that a corresponding offense under 307 must be there. And secondly, is special ability, because that is bound to cause irreversible damage.
I thought it's acid throwing.
No,
this is a different dimension.
And this is where, as Mr. Solicitor, you have rightly pointed out, there are schemes and also statutory provisions under the Code of Criminal Procedure 357 capital B, which there's a corresponding provision in the BNSS, where free medical aid can be provided to such victims, because these victims require perpetual medical assistance. When the alimentary canal or the food pipe is damaged, they will require continuous and regular long-term treatment, which may not be available to a victim coming from an economically weak background.
No, and ultimately, my lord, let us be clear.
Central government and state government hospitals can be
Must be, because at the end of the day, this is the failure of the state in broader sense.
Also, schemes are doing well, because under those schemes we are getting some funds from the state governments and the central government. So that corpus with every state legal authority and a liberal utilization of it under the constant monitoring of the NALSA is working reasonably well. But there also we are facing
permanent treatment. My lord,
there also we are facing problems. Some of the states on the ground of financial crunch, they are not releasing. I have been facing this problem. There is a inordinate delay on the part of several states. They don't release the annual grant for that. So for the time being, the state legal authority which were in crisis, I had diverted some NALSA funds so that the scheme is not frustrated.
May issue that direction as well, my lord, because it's a matter of priority, my lord. You have to prioritize your disbursement also.
But I think the corresponding provision in CRPC, where compensation from the accused, probably there is some maximum tag of amount, and that amount is completely unrealistic.
The discretion of the
Milords, regarding the compensation or the penalty arraigned to the accused, in that context, if you are speaking, we can see how much longer the trial is taking. So at the end of the trial, when the judgment is eventually passed, that is when the accused is being arraigned the penalty. So when the acid attack survivor is getting the penalty, it would be too late for her.
She may not, in some cases, survive also too. I'm
Exactly.
sorry to say this, but it is so dangerous, my lord, to swallow, to swallow acid, my lord, is something
Yes, sir.
horrendous. It's barbaric.
All the internal organs get affected. Whereas
You survive only
the
part of your body survives.
So it will rupture everything wherever it will touch.
It reaches.
There is no question of.
And Milords, in most of the cases of these forceful acid ingestion, it is a case of domestic violence, which is usually perpetrated by either the husband or the in-laws. So in that case, there is already a pressure mounting upon the victim, because they compel her, either you give a statement in favor of the accused or else you will be on the road. So she has to decide whether she has to live or she has to survive.
Yes, sir.
2-3 amendments that maybe that this definition of specially able. Then in the penal laws also, in the penal laws and in the bail provision also, there can be an exception can be added that in some of these offences like this, there is the most ruthless, most heinous kind of brutality it exhibits when somebody does it. There should be stringent conditions more than this UAPA or PMLAs or.
This is animal instinct.
This is absolutely
not human instinct.
These people have no right to roam in society.
Absolutely.
They are threat to the society. They are threat to the civilian people. They are threat to the rule of law. And the law and the system must deal with them by iron hands. So that stringent condition bail can also be
Acts as a deterrent for future also.
A befitting preventive measure.
सर एक चीज मैं और ऐड करना चाहूंगी, जैसे अभी नालसा की पॉलिसी के बारे में बात हो रही थी, तो नालसा की पॉलिसी में है डिसेबिलिटी का इतना है, आपकी बर्न इंजरी है इतना है, तो उसमें भी एसिड इंजेक्शन वालों को कुछ बेनिफिट नहीं है, क्योंकि उनको वो सब चीजें ना तो बर्न इंजरी दिखती है ना
the difficulty appears to be, she is right, difficulty appears
नालसा का बेनिफिट उन्हें कभी मिला। सर जो मिनिमम मुआवजा है 3 लाख, वो सिर्फ वहां तक ही जा पाते हैं, उससे आगे कभी उन्हें कुछ नहीं मिला।
तो नालसा की स्कीम है,
हाँ सर, जो नालसा की स्कीम है,
But, in my lord, right to physically weaker, my lord, I'm sorry, PW, persons with disability, the acid attack victim is defined. This needs to be, my lord, amended. This is my personal view.
Disfiguration.
Means,
On disfiguration.
no, my lord. It says means a person disfigured due to violent assaults by throwing of acid.
yes,
No, not only that, see disfiguration.
Ah.
So it stresses on the external disfiguration
And
not
throwing.
on the, on throwing.
And throwing.
And not on the internal damage of
Internal.
organs.
This needs to be.
This needs to be addressed.
This needs to
This
be addressed.
definition is where?
In the
No, this is in
PWD Act.
right to this rights of persons with disability. There is a definition, but this dimension of forcibly drinking was not in my mind. I was also,
Addition of an explanation will take care.
well, yes. And your lordships are right. Disfiguration again.
See, the word is disfiguration. So even the schemes, they all go by the proportionate disfiguration on the external.
Like burn injuries.
Yes.
Any irreversible loss to the external or internal
Organ.
yes,
should be treated as
Whether by throwing or other.
or forced to drink.
Apart from self-ingestion.
Apart from
Self-ingestion,
yes, ma'am.
where a person seeks to commit suicide by
Sometimes
ingestion.
people take it to commit suicide.
Yes.
That may be a
That
different
may
kind.
not be within the scheme,
Okay.
but otherwise, any hostile
Forceful under
administration.
coercion or something.
So that is why, Milord, the definition under the BNS, which is existing, that covers both the.
That covers.
But the RPWD Act does not cover it. That is actually our prayer, so that we can get a purpose
Please provide the Solicitor General with a note as you want.
Let us get the note.
We will take up after 6 weeks. Let us see then what kind
Yes.
of response we get. About this NALSA scheme also, you make a mention, we'll see that because I have dealt with recently, there are budget allocation issue, but we'll try to find out some solution. We bring that also on report that I know the cap of 3 lakh right now.
yes, sir.
Obliged.
deeply obliged.